already know what time it is. It's your boy Mack B, back at it, back in the building. Episode 56, man, time flies when you're having fun. We got another hot show for you today. I'm so excited. I got my player partner, the big homie Resoe's in the building. What's up, family? How you doing, man?
I love the energy, man.
Hey, man, I love you being here, bro.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We're making it happen. We're going to dive right in. So, man, I know you stay busy with all your different projects, man.
Yeah.
You a hell of a dope artist, man. Hella talented, you know, in the mural game and the basketball courts. How did you get started doing the murals, man? Was that something you did like maybe as a graffiti artist early on, or how did that go down? Talk to me about that, man.
So it's a really interesting story because like I'm born in Mexico, right?
Okay.
So we're culture. My dad's a gardener. And when I was a kid, he used to take me to work, you know, try to keep me off the streets. So I don't know if you remember back in the day in elementary, those old school long papers or gray ones. They were like the cheap ones.
Yeah.
So I used to tell the teacher, because nobody would grab them and like, hey, can I take something? Yeah, go for it. So my dad used to take me to work, bro, and I used to be in the truck, little as hell, like, and I used to just draw, and then next thing you know, yeah, I got into graffiti when I was 11, and then I did graffiti, and then that transition. Moving forward after high school, I just was like, I don't want to do graffiti. You know, you get in trouble, all these things. So then I got into art.
That's dope.
Well, I was already doing art, then graffiti. Then I just went back into like, and then when I started getting paid, I was like, oh, you get paid for this? I was like, oh yeah, it's no time, you know?
You get the bossa, homie. It's on and popping, right?
I was doing that I just love, but then when I seen like, hey, how much you charge? And I was like, oh yeah, like, oh yeah, that felt good, you know?
Yeah. So you're just naturally gifted, man, you know?
Thank you.
And you didn't have to go to school for it or anything. It just kind of came to you.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I always loved school, man. And that was one thing about me. Like, no matter what, like I always tell my friends, like, it's crazy because a lot of people really don't appreciate like the knowledge and what the teachers at first.
Yeah.
Like, I still want to go back to school and learn more stuff because you keep learning, you know? The brain is just keeps going and going.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Sky's the limit for you, man. I mean, you know, I know you've worked with, you know, some high profile celebs, man, and you know, done some murals and some work. Talk to me about that experience, man. Were you ever starstruck, or was it just kind of just an ordinary thing for you? Oh, no big deal. There's Serena Williams, you know.
You know what? In the beginning, like, it kind of was like, how do I explain it to you? After a while, like, once you start meeting one or two celebrities and you're around more, you just we're all humans, right? But they have something special. But I just feel like when you push that button and be too there, I feel like they get that so much. So it's just be cool, be professional when you're there because, you know, you're part of the project. So you got to be professional, you know?
Right. And how does it start, man? Because it's so interesting. You know, I see so much work, particularly in LA, downtown, all over the city, man. When you see a space, you know, maybe it's a certain neighborhood or a certain area, does that contribute to your vision in terms of what you want to put there? Or do you already know in your mind, hey, I want to do a mural of so-and-so and I just need to find a location? How does that work?
So with me, like, you know, because I feel like I have personality and that has to do a lot with it. When I go get a wall, usually these walls, I mean, you know, I ask for permission, right?
Yeah.
Like I had a couple friends going back to the money. Hey, Reza, why are you doing these murals? Because when I do my art, I don't get paid for my work. But if I get somebody calling me to do their work, I'll charge you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had a buddy tell me, why are you doing this? You ain't getting paid. I'm like, bro, look at the bigger picture. Eventually, you know, you meet
long term.
people. Yeah. When I did the collab with ScHoolboy Q, you know, I did that out of love. And
shout out to TDE.
Yeah, man, TDE, like, you know, my boys over there. So it was like, you know, when I did that, it was like he shouted me out. It went big. And after that, it was just like takeoff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, when I see these walls and spaces, I just like, yeah, I want that wall.
Right.
You know, to me, it's a canvas. It's a billboard. In other words, right? Like you're showcasing your work. So how are you gonna get out there if you're not showcasing?
Yeah.
And then from one mural to another, just boom, you start meeting people, and now I'm traveling the country. You know.
Look at that, man.
Yeah. That was a paid mural right there. Yeah.
Is that Maryland?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to do that, man? Because
that one actually is a bigger wall. I put that one right, send it to you guys because that one's one of my favorites. But
yeah,
I want to say like 5 hours.
What? Really? That's it?
Well, because, you know, spray paint, the beauty about spray paint, it dries so quick. Versus when you do brush, you got to let it dry. And, you know, I just feel like spray paint is faster. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow, that's fire, man. That's some fire right there, man. That is hella dope work, man. I like the contrast, the colors.
It's a huge wall, bro. It's like 14, 15. Yeah.
And that was all you? You didn't have no help?
Yeah, well, on the other side, like the background, the sky, like little stuff, but like the main work, no, that's on me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And does it dry fairly quickly? Like,
I say, like when you spray something, like in less than a minute, it's still wet in a way, but you could go over it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had anything that you did and then people tagged over it? Not purposely, but just, you know, that's how the streets are, right? So,
well, with me, like,
and you had to come back and recreate or kind of fix it?
Well, with me, it's like I'm pretty out there in the streets. A lot of people know me, right? I had a few, like, maybe they were youngsters that didn't know about me.
Okay.
And I had to talk to, like, you know, like whoever was around there and tell them, like, hey, you know, your little homie did this. And they're like, I got you, right? Like, not that I'm somebody in a way of, like, telling who, but
you are.
But I'm pushing positivity.
Right.
Do a lot of stuff for the community with the kids. So, you know, gang members look at that and be like, man, you're doing something great. You know, they respect that. So, yeah. So I had people writing over it and they didn't know, you know, little dudes that don't know. But yeah.
Right. You're from South Central, man. Talk to me about South Central. Shout out to South Central, Los Angeles.
It's a wild city, man.
Yeah. Tell me about that experience. Not only like what's going on right now, but just growing up in South Central and being involved in the community and knowing ScHoolboy Q and you know some of these other recognizable figures that come from that area.
Like South Central, what's cool about it is a lot of talented artists that come out of that city, right? Yeah. It's crazy because like the city's tricky. Like you know how it is, just the name off top, South Central. Like, you know, you get that image of it being hood but growing up in South Central was just like tough, man. You know, tough. Getting around, you know, the whole gang banging and all that. Like, you know, going to this liquor store and people banging on you and stuff. But the way I moved was just genuine. Got to meet a lot of people, so it was cool for me, like, staying out of trouble. I was getting in trouble here and there, but for the most part, it was just like, it's interesting.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of stuff that happened, and you know, I don't regret it. Like in the way of like I was supposed to be where I was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
You're a big inspiration, man. Not only in the community, man. There's just a lot of people I've heard when your name has been mentioned, man. I've heard a lot of positive feedback from you, man. And I know we just recently tapped in, but I'm excited to get to know you better, man, and collaborate with you. How does that feel, man, when these kids, you know, especially maybe some of these younger kids, you know, they look up to you and as a hero, man, and they really maybe want to model themselves after you. How does that feel for you, man? Especially because you're still fairly young, you know?
Yeah, thank you. No, it's amazing, you know, just, you know, because when I was younger, I didn't think I would be doing what I'm doing now, right? So when these kids tell me and they're like, man, we look up to you and we love your art, what you do for the community, giveaways, and it feels amazing, man. It really feels amazing to just be that pillar in your community, you know, to give back and, you know, just be good. You know, I always say be good to one another because you never know, you know. Don't burn bridges, be good. Everything will come back to you, so yeah.
Right. That's a great mindset to have. Yeah. The basketball element in terms of like painting and doing the courts versus the murals.
Right.
Which one is more challenging, or is it pretty much easy work for you because you've been doing it for so long? Talk to me about the difference between the basketball courts versus doing a mural like you showed us earlier with the Maryland picture.
So for murals, you gotta have skills off the. Not everybody could, you know, do it. With the basketball court, I feel like you could learn it. Like you could learn it, right? Because it's a lot of math.
Okay.
We use a lot of tape, so it's a lot of math. You don't really. It's still like if you give you a drawing, it's all math versus a mural. It's the spray can is a different kind of tool, right?
Right.
The floor is different, but it has its balances because with the basketball court, you're going into a surface where you're using the court. A wall, you're not using it, so the floor you gotta mix the products, know what to put, make sure it doesn't peel, make sure like if it has cracks, because a lot of surfaces they're not flat, they have cracks. So now you're going into construction. So it kind of balances in a way, you know. But yeah.
Right. Talk to me about this court right here.
The Clippers.
With the Clippers, you took part in that.
Yeah, that's in South Central. That's in Jesse Owens Park right there on Western Century. Yeah.
How did that come about for you?
They hired us. This guy named Mike. Shout out to Mike, man. He's an older guy. He has a company. They do a lot of parks and recs, and yeah, they hired us to do the basketball court. And, you know, it's funny. Lately, I've been manifesting it, and I want to do a basketball court in where I grew up, right, where ScHoolboy Q area.
Yeah.
But the thing about a lot of people don't know, a lot of these basketball courts in LA, Clippers have part ownership with the parks because they donate.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to create a deck and pitch a deck to them and showcase, because I didn't get this job through the Clippers. I got it through Mike. He works with them.
Okay.
So I told Mike my vision, like, yo, I want to do a court where I grew up at, bring everybody outside, do a whole like giveaway, DJ music. It's like, yeah, just show me a design you want to do and I'll tell them. So I've been manifesting that lately and I want to do that, you know.
That's dope. Shout out to the Clippers, by the way.
They donate
currently
so
in the
much,
NBA
man.
playoffs with the Lakers.
Yeah, so that's why they have they donate to all these parks and do good. So, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I love Lakers. I've always loved Lakers. But
me too.
For them doing this and just me really seeing what they do, I'm a fan of them too, you know. Yeah. Then the day is LA, you know?
Yeah, right. That's a beautiful thing, man, and I know you'll continue to kind of cultivate that relationship, man, because, you know, and anything you do, any grind, any hustle you have, it's all predicated on relationships, man, and being well respected out here, which I know you are.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your downtime, because I know you're busy, man, but everybody, every now and then, it can get a little bit slow. Things can kind of slow down a little bit. What do you do to just kind of unwind, man? Do you like to travel? You cook? What do you like to do? You on stage at the Comedy Store? What's happening, man?
Well, like basically like my free time, right? You're saying?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how to cook.
Okay.
So I want to learn how to cook.
I can teach you that.
Oh, we're gonna have a cooking show. Yeah. On my free time, I like to party, man. I like to go out. You know, I go out and just have fun. You know, at the end of the day, I'm human, right? I like to party, go out. I go to events.
Yeah.
Travel. I mean, you know, it's crazy because when you say travel, when I travel for work, at the same time it's like a vacation.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And it's cool because it's like, damn, I don't gotta spend nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So when I'm out there, I'm working, but when we finish a job or a project or in the afternoons, I go out and explore. So
that's dope, man. And
it's
speaking
amazing, man.
Right. Speaking of traveling, man, you know, you've shared some stories with me, you know, that you've been in like Philly and New York, Des Moines, Iowa, you know,
Detroit,
you know, for work. Like, what is that like, man, to actually travel to these cities, places you've never been, right? Yeah. You kind of can interact with the culture there, the community, even if it's for a brief period of time. But you're also getting paid. Right. But what is that whole experience like, man? You're just going like in the middle of nowhere, right? Yeah. And you're like, damn.
It's okay. So
what's happening out here? Like
chills. It's crazy because like it changed my life, right? It's amazing where I'm at, getting blessed to go out there. And I always say this, like when I travel, you meet all these people, right? And we're like that new neighbor in the community. You know, I come in for a week or 2 weeks, and every day the little kids, you know, see the cord. Oh, you guys doing a cord for the community, and you build a relationship with the community.
They get excited.
They get excited, you know, the kids like, and it's funny because like in Detroit, I remember when I was there in Halloween, I was like, you know what, it's Halloween time, man. Let me dress up like Mario, because my real name's Mario.
Yeah.
You know, so I dressed up like Mario, and I bought a bunch of candies, and all the little kids, Mario. So they were, you know, it was amazing. But yeah, it's amazing, you know, to travel out there, meet a lot of culture, different people, and you know, it's a wonderful experience. Like you're getting paid and you're going out there, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest. After a while, like I started getting homesick. I didn't even know what homesick was until somebody told me what was homesick, and I was like, I see it.
Yeah.
Because you feel lonely in a way.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I was in New York for my second time, I was out there in the East Coast for like 2 months and a half.
You don't really know that many people out there.
Yes, but me being who I am, I start talking to
everybody.
But it's not the same when you're away from home, right?
Yeah.
Friends and family. But I know I'm gonna go back. But yeah, it was amazing to be out there. Like New York is a huge city, man. I was out there in New Haven, and we went back and forth. It was funny because when we were in New York, we'll go to New Haven, Philly, back to New York. So it was just like
everything's so close together.
Yeah. I was in Philly for the third time, and I remember I got an Uber from Philly to New York. I had my own job, like another job that I got on my own. This guy wanted to do a mural, and I was like, let's do it. So yeah, it was dope, man. It's dope going traveling and just experiencing that.
2 questions regarding the murals, man. What was the longest period of time that it took you to do a mural, right? And what was it of? And what was the shortest period of time where you had to do a mural and you just knocked it out real quick? And what was that of?
Oh man, ScHoolboy Q mural. I did it in 1 day.
Okay. Is that in South Central?
That's in South Central. Yeah.
Oh.
That one was 1 day, and you would think it like why 1 day, because it's really just all yellow. And I have a sprayer, so I have the big gun. So I buffed it all out, and then it's just really his face with the mask. That took me a little more time. The rest is letters. It looks like it's a lot of work, but it took me 1 day.
Yeah, you just be in that zone, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get in that zone and you're just like, man, I'm focused.
Yeah, I'm focused. But it was cool because everybody was out there. You know, everybody was seeing me do it. People come, hey, Rez, you need his best friend. Shout out Floyd.
Shout out to Floyd.
That's ScHoolboy Q's best friend. They grew up together. He'd be like, Rez, you need some water. You need some gloves. Because, you know, I don't like to paint with gloves because it gets sweaty and then it's the grip. I just like
it affects your whole routine. Huh?
Yeah, and then it's just like I want to, you know, be on my phone or something. And it's just like I got to take it off, put it back. But he was just being generous. You want some gloves? I got some gloves. Like, dang, he went out of his way, gave me some gloves. I was loved. So I had the whole community out there.
That's dope. Yeah. Speaking of ScHoolboy Q and TDE, always doing big things, right? Shout out to Top Dog and everybody over there. How did you connect with ScHoolboy Q? Talk to me about that relationship and that friendship, man. How did that come about?
Yeah, so one of his boys, which is my boy, shout out to T2 and Floyd and them.
Okay.
You know, when I first seen that wall, I was like, hey, bro, you got a wall right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta do something in this community. Let's hit up Q. Bet. He's like, hey, Rez. I was like, I'm gonna ask him for permission because it's in his neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to do a mural. He'd be like, you know, weird about it. Like,
you did it right way.
Yeah, I'm sure anybody you do a mural for, they're happy, but you still gotta like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, let's do it. Come on. And then after that, shout out to Keaton Trail from Back on Fake podcast.
Okay, shout out
to them. I remember he invited me to his album release with Q. No, actually, that was way before. I went to TF. Shout out my boy TF. He had an album release. And yeah, I met him. We talked, and then he was happy. You know, he was happy I did the mural, and then after that, you know, he started fucking with me. So it was like, it was cool. It was just authentic. You know, him and Kendrick, bro, they're
real
really
ones.
Nice. I haven't met Kendrick, but I could just, you know, all the videos how he is.
Yeah.
He was just like that, like genuine guy. You know, he's not cocky. He's not a dig. Like none of that.
Yeah. That's dope, man. Shout out to ScHoolboy Q and TDE. That's just a beautiful
different,
thing.
Man.
Yeah,
they're just different.
They've been winning, man, for a while, so there's something to it, man.
Yeah.
You know, big time. And shout out to the entire West Coast and you know, everything, man. You know, the music scene is really like exploding out here with all these MCs, Latino MCs, you know, African American MCs. It doesn't matter, bro. Like everybody's eating, man, and working together, and I love it. That's just a great thing. Musically, who do you mess with, man? Who do you bump in the whip, or what's your go-to, man, when it comes to music?
To be honest, just big on hip hop, of course.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to a lot of corridos.
Okay.
A lot of Spanish music, corridos. A lot of like you know, I'm from the culture, but I mean, I've grown up with hip hop. I like Dre, Game, all the TDE guys. But yeah, corrido has been my thing lately, and that was one of the things too. That when you were talking about music, I was able to work on Jimmy Humilde's court. Remember I was telling you earlier about Jimmy Humilde? So that guy right now, he's just like killing it in the corrido game. Shout out to him. So I was able to do his chord, and yeah, man, like meeting him and doing the chord, and just these guys that are killing it in the music and in the corrido world is different. You know, it's different because back in the day with me, it was like the old school corridos. My dad, like, you know, they'll drink and pound. It was like that old school, but now it's like a whole nother generation.
Right. That's dope, man. And you know, that's the beauty of music, right?
Yeah.
Because you may come from a certain culture, a certain part of the world, and just through your voice, it can resonate to a level where I don't care where you're from. Like people from overseas, Europe, India, Japan, they just love it, man. And it's just a beautiful thing. Music like brings people together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. It's art, you know, it's art.
Yeah.
It's just like art. That's what art did with me, you know. It just it brought me to meet different cultures, different communities, and it's amazing, right? Art and music, what it could do.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Speaking of those combinations, man, when you do your thing, whether it's a basketball court or a mural, do you ever like put some music on to kind of get in a rhythm, a routine, or do you really like it just kind of quiet and silent?
So when I do my murals, I put on my AirPods, right?
Okay.
Because I'm doing my thing. But when we do basketball courts, shout out to my boy Pancho. He's some dude that works for me.
Shout out to Pancho.
Dude brings a whole speaker, bro.
Okay.
And he brings a whole speaker. I'm like, dude, this guy's like, okay. So he puts it so everybody can hear, right? Because we're out in the. You gotta have. I mean, I could put my headphones on, but say like I want to call him or he wants to call me, like, hey, pass me this or this. You gotta be open, right? Versus when I'm doing a mural, I'm on my own. Like that's different.
Right. Right. Okay. So it basically comes down to it just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But for the basketball courts, every time I take him to work, he always has his speaker.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely done a lot of big things, man, at a young age. What else is on the bucket list, man, for you? You know, whether it's entertainment related, sports, whatever it is there anything that you have yet to do that you see yourself doing in the next few years?
Yeah, so like, you know, I started doing theater acting like 2 years ago, two and a half years ago. And man, I never thought I'd do theater acting. And man, that thing's a monster. Theater acting is like a whole nother world. Like you go in there and you gotta remember your lines. You can't be like, hey, time out, I messed up. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I did it, I sharpened my tools, but I haven't auditioned for a lot of stuff, right? Because I didn't want to like stress myself out with the traveling. Because when I was traveling, believe it or not, like I'll be in New York and I had to be in rehearsal the next week. And it's like, damn, dude, like gotta be over there, right? So it kind of was like, I was feeling a little stressed, but I was about my craft, right? So I had to finish the job. But yeah, soon I'm gonna start auditioning and start getting back into that world. It's just, you know, there's just a lot of things going on. But I love comedy. You know.
Okay.
I like to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be out there, you know. So I want to get into the comedy world and see where it goes. You know, have fun with it. You know.
Right. Yeah, man. La vida es muy corta, tú sabes. So it's all about, you know, making the most of the opportunities, right? And that's exactly what we've been doing and we're doing right now. Talk to me about, are you a family man?
Sorry, before I forget, because you brought that up, something that I do want to get into and I really want to start doing eventually, I want to start producing and making films.
Okay.
Eventually start telling stories, you know?
That's dope.
Because like, when you have a team and you know people, it can happen. You just got to do it. Yeah. So that's something that I've been like wanting to like experience, right? Tell a story, create a story, put it out there. And it's like your own, you know, your movie. You direct, you produce, or whatever, but you have to have a team.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been thinking about that. I want to do a movie.
Well, we putting it into the air on Sports Hop. This is episode 56, players. So it's in the air right now. It's everywhere like air, right? So I believe in, you know, manifestation, right? And positive affirmations, speaking things into existence. And that's definitely what it is. And so I believe that can happen, man. Yeah. And a lot of it is not just the belief and wanting to do it. It's your circle of people. Right. You know, you run with people that I know that I run with. And so we kind of are associated with some of the same people, man. And that's the beauty of life, man. And not just in the business world, just life, period, man. Right. You never know who you're going to cross paths with and who they know. Right. And then that person who
just
knows
takes
that
one person to just,
it's like a domino effect, right? You know what I mean? So I fully believe, man, that'll happen sooner than later for you, man. And I got a little project that I'm working on, so you're going to definitely be involved with that.
Thank you. Hell yeah.
I'm putting it out there right now for everybody watching the show. Yeah. But, yeah, man, we all have goals and aspirations, man, and things that we want to do. And I don't know if you ever feel this way, but answer my question. I'm going to tell you how I feel, right? I sometimes feel, man, there's never enough time in the day because you want to do so much, right? And you can't get to everything. So sometimes you got to just put something to the back burner. It's still going to be there, but it's just that sometimes you want it right now. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ever feel that way?
You know what? That's true. I was always like trying to like, I got to do it. But then I'm like, no, hold on. Like everything goes at its pace. And I've learned that. Still learning, you know, I'm not saying I know it all, but it's like, I'm learning on that, like with the murals and everything, like trying to like, well, I got to do this. And people telling me like, Resoe, whoa. I was like, why you doing this? I was like, why not? It's my life. I can do whatever. But then I see it now in a way of like how you're saying it, like everything takes its time.
Yeah. Would you ever go back to Mexico and get down there and do a mural?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Because that's where you're from, right?
Yeah.
What part of Mexico?
Durango.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Durango.
The Lacranes.
Scorpion. Lacranes. So that would be kind of fly, man. Yeah. You know, to go back over there.
To the motherland,
To the motherland, homie. And un milagro otra vez, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah.
So
you know, it's another thing too that I want to manifest and get into is I always wanted to have a coffee shop.
Okay.
And a coffee shop just because like
you drink coffee?
Yeah, but I'm not like a crazy drink coffee. I was just growing up drinking coffee.
Right.
And you know, with the whole pickleball courts and you know, pickleball is growing. We didn't talk about that. Pickleball is growing, and I want to have a space where like you come play sports and you know, do your homework, have meetings, and a safe spot.
Right, a
you
safe
leave
haven.
and you feel productive.
Right.
That's something like later down the line, that I've
Okay.
been thinking like that would be pretty cool to do.
That would be
Because
dope.
I'm gonna be old and I'm like I'm not gonna be out there painting anymore, and I need to have an income. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
yeah.
Right. Do you ever get tired, man? Your arms or your hands? I'm imagining you do when you're out there painting.
The hands, not the feet.
The
It's more
feet.
the feet
Oh, okay.
because of up and
Standing.
down. Yeah.
Right.
The hands is like it's not that
And
bad.
you got to have ladders too, right?
Yeah. So ladders, you can rent scissor lifts, you can rent all kinds of stuff like scaffolds or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really intense, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people, man, think it's just showing up and just spray painting a wall, and after an hour you're done. Like,
Yeah.
it's a whole process, man.
Right.
It's like a lot of time.
Right. And it's crazy because I try to be as fair as I can and charge a decent price, but I also learned like with time, I was always like never learned how to say no, right? So like now, like a few years ago, I'm like, nah. I can't just please everybody. Just it's like it's hard. Like I'm giving you a good price already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, I learned to just like sometimes be like, I'm sorry, I can't, Because if I do it to you and then it's gonna stress me out and I'm gonna be over here like, man, well, I got all these other things going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what I like about your movement, man, and it is a real authentic movement, is you're organically growing your brand, man.
Right.
You're just, you're not paying people to get you exposure. You're just kind of grinding and going to these different cities
Right.
and building a name and a reputation for yourself, man. And that's what I love. At the end of the day, man, we all want to get the bag, right? But there's a level of respect behind how you go about it. And the way you go about your business is hella cool and authentic, man. And I just want to put that out there that I respect that, man. And that's going to carry you for a long, long time. So.
Yeah, just be genuine, just be good and organically. And I feel like for me, like I'm like, damn, like people ask me, how do you talk to everybody? I'm like, just because I'm not lying, I guess. I'm just being me, that aura around me, just being good to one another. And I think that just comes down to just the way I grew up. My mom, my dad, just, you know what I mean? Like, just be good, and when you're good and you see that, you see the outcome. Like, the good people are gonna stay around you, and the bad people are just gonna, exit out.
Yeah. Let's talk about the comedy movement, especially with the Latino market, with Concrete and
oh yeah, shout out to Concrete.
Jay Valentino, the homies that are doing their thing.
Dude, I always go to their comedy events, and Jay Valentino, Concrete, Duno, all them.
Duno, yeah.
Shout out to Marty, his manager. Marty's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Marty is like always like, come through, man, check it out. And that props to them because it reminds me of theater, but comedy's harder, bro.
Yeah.
Comedy to me is like, dude, like you go up there and to make people laugh. It's not everybody could do that.
No. Those guys have a gift. Shout out to Concrete, Jay Valentino, Duno. Like,
they're creative.
Yeah,
like,
man. And to get up there, bro, and make these people laugh. Because some of them are fans, right? But some of them, they don't know who the hell you are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to get up there and just do your thing, man. It takes a lot of balls to do that, man.
It does.
Like,
it does.
And they make it look easy, right?
Yeah, but it's like for me now, I feel like it's different because back in the day, like you just have regular comedians go up there. Now they're doing like a segment, like a kind of like an episode, like a skit up there. It's not just going up there. Now they're doing like funky stuff and dressing up like different characters. So it's really creative for me. Like, oh, that's cool.
Right. Almost like a theatrical production, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not just going up there. It's like now they're kind of storytelling. Yeah.
That's dope, man. Shout out to those guys, man. Keep rocking and rolling. I love the movement.
When I met Concrete, it's crazy because I met Concrete like 2015, 16. Yeah. And he was a videographer.
Yeah, he was rapping too.
Yeah, he was rapping too. Yeah.
Concrete has some flows, man. You gonna come pull up? We already talked about it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like he's a man of all trades,
Yeah.
So, shout out to him. Yeah, it's a success.
That's dope. And one hand washes the other. I love the movement in terms of what you're doing. Are you into sports at all, man? I know you said you're a Laker fan.
Yeah.
Our boys are down right now. They lost the other night. You mess with the Dodgers at all, or?
Yeah, I love the Dodgers.
Okay.
You know what I?
Well, you wearing a Dodger hat, so I'm assuming that you rock with them. Like,
I just started golfing. I got into golfing, and when I was young, I used to think it's boring, but it's cool. Golfing is like therapeutic.
Relaxing.
It's cool. I'm not saying I'm good. Like it's just cool because I go out there and just play and enjoy it.
Right.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
So
I got to get out there, man. I've been saying this. I've been nonsensing for years, man. I've been
You don't have
procrastinating. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, man. And you know, I'm an athlete, man. I played football half my life, man. And you know, unfortunately, I got some bad knees, but not bad enough where I can't get out there.
Right.
Was it hard for you the first couple weeks or months to kind of just learn how to tee off and do the putts and all that?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't understand it. Like, how does it work? And then until it took me a little while to understand it. But I'll be going to that Top Golf. It's pretty fun too. Top Golf.
Yeah, that's a vibe right there.
Yeah, that's like a family, friends, go there and have fun. But yeah, like with the golfing, it's cool because you don't feel rushed, right? Unless the guys behind you are really going fast, but you can let them go by. But like golfing, it's not like you're just like intense. It's like cool. You're with your buddies. You know, you're hitting the ball. You got cigars, drinking. So I was like, man, that's interesting. It's different. You're around nature. You're outside. You know.
Yeah.
Birds and all that.
Yeah. How often do you go, man?
You know what? Lately, I haven't. I was trying to do it once a week, and I got invited the other day, but I haven't lately.
Okay.
So I need to get out there. We should go.
All right, man. Hey,
we'll go.
Say less, man. All right. He called me out on episode 56. Okay.
I'll take care of you. We'll go out there.
All right.
Have some fun. There's some really nice courts out there in Corona, Anaheim.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because like, I was like, damn, when I started seeing like all the golf courses like in the world, I'm like, yo, like, dude, that's a rich man's sport. I'm like, yo, I didn't even know. Like, you meet people too. Like, all kinds of people go out there. So, yeah, man, golfing is cool.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I'm definitely inspired, man.
Yeah.
If you out there getting it, man, I gotta follow suit. It's all good.
Yeah.
Football. Do you mess with any football teams? You got a
I mean,
team?
I'm not like a crazy, like, but I like the Steelers.
Okay, Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where did that come from? You know, knowing that
that's interesting.
You on the West Coast. How did that come about?
So my whole thing is, you know, a lot of people go for teams because of the best and who's on top and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My whole thing was, I started realizing that I was hanging out with a certain amount of people that I was really close to, and they were Steeler fans. And I was like, yo. And then I like the colors, right? I'm big on visuals.
Yellow.
You know, I'm an artist. The artist, the colors, and I was just those moments when I was watching the games or hanging out with them, I'm like, oh, and then I see them play. I was like, I like the Steelers, and then from there, just I became a Steelers. Yeah. So there's a story behind it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just go for the Steelers just because.
Right. No, that's dope, man. I mean, you know, I'm a Bronco fan, man, but my second team, and I loved them as a kid, was the Steelers, man.
Yeah.
You know, because of their uniforms.
Right.
That black and yellow, bro, and they were always winning. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
These boys are dope.
They're good, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, okay. You mentioned pickleball, man, and I know that's exploding, right?
Right.
Have you ever played?
Yeah. But I don't play like that, but yeah.
I've never even played.
It's kind of like ping pong and tennis. It's like ping pong.
Like racquetball, maybe? Or?
Kind of. It's like, basically, it's like ping pong.
Okay.
So it's like tennis, ping pong.
Yeah.
You know, but it's growing because it's easier for kids to play, older people to play. You don't gotta run, you know. Tennis court is big, so yeah, it's growing.
Okay. Shout out to the pickleball movement and everybody who's associated with it, because I hear a lot about that, man, in conversation. Man.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, it's like people from all walks of life, younger people, teenage, you know, adults, people in their 50s. So I've been hearing a lot about that the last few years, man. So
yeah, that was like something new to me because I knew about tennis, basketball courts. And I had this one house, this guy named Mario Arizona. Shout out to him, man. He's dope.
Shout out to Mario.
He's a motivational speaker, but he got a lot of things going on. He has a big old house in Riverside, and he had a tennis court. And I converted the tennis court into a pickleball. So you could imagine the amount of space that like it's reduced, but you know, I created like a border around, put the logos to like kind of like not leave a dead space. But it's like you went from tennis to pickleball. That just shows you he wasn't really playing tennis.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope, man.
Yeah, I like pickleball. It's cool, and it's cool because like a lot of homes like have hired me to do pickleball courts because it's smaller. When you have tennis, it's like I said, it's big. You know, that's what I was gonna tell you about. When we brought up the Williams. So recently, I did a court in Woodland Hills, and it's crazy because when the guy called me up, right, he was like, "Hey, I got your number from Sealmaster. I got a court out here." So I go, and then he tells me like, you know, this house right here is the Williams house. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah. And I Googled it. So the sisters bought the house for the mom in 2015, sold it in 2019. And I was like, yo, that's crazy how it works. The universe, like, we just did a court in New York with Venus Williams.
And she was there.
Yeah, and then it's like now I'm doing a court where their mom and they as a family would be at. Like how cool is that?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like how it works. Like
that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing to like redo the whole course. So keep that court alive and put their logo. It said the Williams. So whoever's gonna buy the house or be there, they could take it off, but they're gonna know that was they live there. You know what I mean?
And that was your work. Man.
Yeah, it was my work. Yeah.
That's huge, man. That's a major look, and how it all kind of fell into your lap, man.
Yeah, it's funny because when that happened, right? Shout out to my boy Shelton Hawkins. He's the one that was managing that job with Lacoste with Vinny's Williams. I was like, yo, you're gonna trip out. Remember that court that we did over there? He's like, yeah. He's like, dude, I'm gonna do the court where they lived at. The mom. Damn. So I flew him from the East Coast. I told him, you gotta come here. We gotta do a podcast. We gotta do an interview and talk about it. Mm-hmm. He's like, bet. So he came. I got him playing, and yeah, man, he got some footage, and we were just talking about like the whole experience.
Right, and Sheldon, you collaborated with him on the East Coast too, right?
Yeah, so Shelton Hawkins, I want you to meet him when he comes out here.
Okay.
He's big over there in the East Coast.
Shout out to Shelton.
Yeah, he gets a lot of jobs, big jobs out there, a lot of corporate jobs. But yeah, man, he's a coach. You know, we call him Coach.
Okay.
He was a coach for basketball. But yeah, he gets jobs out there, and he calls me like, hey, Rez, I got this job. Are you down? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So it's all love, man. Black and brown, East Coast, West Coast, you know.
Unity in the community, man. Yeah. I love it, man. I love the message. Tell everybody watching the show, man, where they can find you on social media and kind of tap in more with your movement.
Yeah, so my Instagram's RESOE_27. So if you guys don't know, my name's Resoe. It means I pray in Spanish. That's, big on that. I believe in God and stuff. But yeah, that's my Instagram. Yeah, you guys check me out. I'm always doing stuff for the community, and I'm gonna have my boy come out there in LA once I do that court with the Clippers, and yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
That's what's up. And for y'all watching, you already know what time it is with your player partner Mack B. Follow me at Mack B, MACKB as in boy _ at Sports Hop Media. That's all one word, Sports Hop Media. Episode 56. We got Resoe on the couch. We having a good time. Keep it locked, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We appreciate the love. Adios, mi gente.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching Sports Hop. For all the latest news on hip hop and sports, subscribe here and keep it locked. It's your boy Mack B.